The atmosphere, the feeling, the passion. Anfield left Francesco Totti stunned with emotional Liverpool return. On this day in 2022, Anfield experienced one of its most emotional European nights as manager Gerard Houllier made his return after 5 months recuperating from life-threatening heart surgery to inspire Liverpool to Champions League victory over AS Roma. Today marks the anniversary of Liverpool beating Roma 2-0 at Anfield back in 2002. Here, Dan Kay looks back on a truly special night under the lights in the Champions League. The legend of Anfield has in many ways been built on dramatic European nights under the floodlights of various different shapes and sizes. From the vanquishing of world champions Inter Milan during Liverpool's first foray into continental competition under Bill Shankly in 1965 to the miraculous overhauling of a 3-goal first-leg semi-final deficit against Lionel Messi's Barcelona which truly set Jurgen Klopp's current side on the path to greatness, that special patch of grass and concrete in L4 and those inside it has continually helped inspired performances and results which have defied the odds and entered into folklore. At its core is the magical alchemy which exists between this unique football club and its supporters, the emotion they are together able to invoke time and again managing to produce a torrent of passion which has often overpowered superior opponents and lifted those wearing red to feats they would never have imagined possible. But in terms of raw human sentiment, Anfield has rarely known a night as supercharged as when manager Gerard Houllier returned to the dugout after months of convalescence following a life-threatening heart problem to help his Liverpool team overcome a star-studded AS Roma side and reach the Champions League quarter-finals in their first season in the rebranded competition. The French manager had arrived on Merseyside back in the summer of 1998 in the unusual role of joint manager to work alongside Roy Evans, having helped mastermind his country's World Cup victory that year as technical director and, having taken sole charge the following November when the Anfield board called time on what proved to be a doomed coaching experiment, set about revamping and revitalizing a club which had fallen behind the times in the early years of the Premier League era after decades of dominance. Houlier's scientific and methodical approach would take time to bear fruit, but, after falling just short of returning Liverpool to the top table of European football in his first full campaign in charge, he led the Reds to one of their most remarkable ever seasons when his side completed a unique cup treble in 2001. Winning the League, FA and UEFA Cups while also fulfilling the initial objective of returning the Reds to where they desperately needed to be both in a financial and footballing sense, the Champions League. The hope and belief was the gathering momentum would also lead to a renewed assault on ending Anfield's league title drought which was now stretching into a second decade, but, having led the club back into the European Cup after a painful 16-year absence on the historically significant day of the 11th of September 2001, all those plans were thrown into jeopardy just over a month later when the Liverpool manager was rushed to hospital during a match with his life hanging in the balance. The Reds' long-standing rivalry with Leeds United, first invoked during the 1960s as Bill Shankly and Don Revie led their clubs to prominence after years languishing in the doldrums, was reborn around the turn of the century as David O'Leary's young team and Houlier's emerged as the two most likely to threaten Manchester United and Arsenal's position as the preeminent sides in the country.